This is the video review of the original Dino Megazord from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's not the 2010 Megazord or the Legacy Megazord. No, this is the original, and I have all the parts, and the worst wear mine has is some of the parts are just a little bit loose, like the forearms on the Mammoth, and then some of the stickers. So I got mine in really good condition for actually a pretty decent price, about $50 with about $10 shipping. And so I was really happy to get a hold of this because normally when you get this, you're missing some of the like the horns on the Triceratops or the fangs on the saber-toothed tiger, or the tusks on the Mammoth, or the feet on the Pterodactyl, or the tail tip on the Transverse Rex. But nope, I got mine all complete with a really nicely chromed sword. Like, there really isn't much chrome wear on this. The set could probably use a little bit of cleaning because some of the joints feel a little bit squeaky, but otherwise it's in pretty good condition. To start this off, let's look at the Triceratops. Pretty good. You can tell this is the American version, not the Japanese version, because of these stickers. Because, like, this is the what the American version looks like, whereas the Japanese version looks more like that. Anyway, here's the Triceratops. It's pretty nice. This one is the original, so it does have wheels and it can roll. It has this I can move up, so it can have a little blaster thing right here. And to get this ready for the tank mode first, we're just going to pop that down. Now, one thing that terrifies me about this guy and the Pterodactyl, or not the Pterodactyl, but the saber-toothed tiger, this one isn't quite as bad because there's been some wear on it. But the way that this pops into place is there are little itty-bitty tabs here, and then these long bits of plastic, and these just press pass and they kind of snap into place. It's not bad on this one, but on the saber-toothed tiger I'll show you, and it looks just terrifying. So anyway, you'll just leave this like this for now for the tank mode. I'll put it off to the side. Here's the saber-toothed tiger, which actually does have spinning wheels down here and down here, whereas on the 2010 version these are all just one piece. So it's really nice to have the wheels right here. And it looks really big and really threatening. For Poseability, you can move these up and down like this, and they're on really nice ratchets. That's kind of what I meant about some of the joints being squeaky. You move those back and forth. You move the head up and down, move the fangs a bit, and the part that scares me about this is that if you look at those little things that move past those tabs, look at how much that bends up before it moves past. I'm just scared of it breaking, so probably after this review, I'm never going to push it all the way back down. I'll just leave the tail up like that. But then you can move this up, and it'll be a little gun. And then to get this ready for the tank mode, we're going to push these up, and push these just kind of straightforward like this, and flip these up. And here you can see it does roll. And we'll put this off to the side. Next, we're going to look at let's look at the Mammoth. The Mammoth is a Mammoth. Only Poseability you really get is you can move these back and forth, and it's a pretty big chunk of plastic, a nice brick. It's real satisfying to hold. One thing that does kind of miff me about the set is that because of the I've never actually had this set before now, and because of the legendary, or not the Legacy Megazord, because that thing has die-cast, I figured, oh, they put die-cast in because the original had die-cast. These are probably huge chunks of die-cast. Now, I imagine maybe the Japanese version might have die-cast, but these guys do not, which feels kind of disappointing, because if this guy had die-cast, he would be a huge chunk of mass, and he'd just be really awesome. So anyway, to get this guy ready for the tank mode, we're going to pop this off. We're going to pop this out, and this is where you can see a little bit more wear because there's some chew marks right there. And then we're going to pop the legs, or pop these up like this, pop the legs back like this, and split them apart like this. So we're not going to flip the fists out yet. And one thing that does really suck about having an older, or a less good condition version of this guy, is that these things get really loose over time. They could probably fix it with some future floors, but I haven't done that yet. And this problem also exists on the 2010 version. If you look at my 2010 Megazord, actually I did tighten mine, but it was originally very loose in there. You can kind of see it here, it's a little bit loose. Anyway, my point was defeated by my maintenance of the figure. Anyway, you'll just rotate these forward, I think this far. And that's all we need to do for this. We'll put it off to the side. Next, we'll look at the Pterodactyl, and to get this ready for the, well, it's still basically the shield thing that doesn't really look like a bird very much. And the big difference between this one and the original Pterodactyl is just proportions. It's much wider. Anyway, to get this ready for the tank mode, you're just going to pop these off, and we'll put this off to the side. And these things will plug into the front of, or the bottom of the feet of the Mastodon here, like this. And we'll just leave that off to the side again. Now we're going to look at the Transverse Rex, and this thing is pretty cool. It's basically almost exactly the same as the original, or as the 2010 version, except this thing can move up and down. You do get some leg articulation here and here. You can move these up and down, and then you can open the mouth. And that's about all the articulation you get here. Now, to get this ready for the combination, what we're going to do is we're going to fold the feet up like this. And one thing that many people don't know about this figure, or at least many people who review this figure don't seem to show it off very much, is that, let's see, is that there's a little button right here that allows you to swing this forward, which gives the, which allows this to lean forward more in the tank, because otherwise it just kind of sits up and down like this, which doesn't look quite as intimidating. So bring these down, pop these forward, like this, and let's see, you want to make sure these things pop back out, because that's how you know that's actually latched into place. We're going to fold these up, and this is about all you're going to do for this for now for the tank mode. Now, to get to the tank mode, we're going to plug these things onto the knees. They're just little tabs in there that kind of wrap around. It's not as tight of a connection as I would like, and I'm not entirely sure what's going on in there. Like, if I, like, is it spring-loaded, or is it just plastic bending around? Because if it's spring-loaded, I could probably replace the springs in there, get a much tighter connection. On the other hand, if I do that, I might break the plastic. So, not quite sure what to do about that, because I would like a much tighter joint than these offer. So anyway, you'll put these in like this. And as you can see, because we bent that forward, this is significantly further leaning forward. They're going to take this, we'll plug it onto the back right there, like this, and then these will just wrap around the side like this. We'll take this piece here, we'll plug it into the chest right here. We'll take this, we'll fold it back, and we'll plug this into his back like that. And then this, or no, actually I don't think we do that quite yet, because if you do that, then this thing doesn't have room to latch on. And basically what happens is there are these little tabs right here, which will fit in between the feet right there. And it's not the most solid connection, especially because this one's kind of old, but anyway, this is the tank mode that it has, where it has like these little guns, and then this thing can shoot, then it can ram stuff with these. And I've never been a super big fan of this mode, but it's there and it's traditional. So anyway, to continue on to the robot mode, we're going to take this off, we're going to fold this down, and one thing that's kind of neat about this is that there's a little clip for the beak of this guy. I just thought it was neat because like the 2010 version doesn't have that. So this will be the chest shield, we'll put it off to the side, we'll pop these off. I'll rotate the fists in like this. We'll pop this off. And then we'll pop this to the back and we'll put it up and it'll snap into place. Then we'll press this button here to straighten out the legs, do it on the other side. Bring up the heads here. And the feet on the saber-toothed tiger. And then we'll bring it all the way down like this. Bring the arms down. Then we'll come in here and we'll pull this open. We'll put the head down. We'll push this up, and then this will come in, and with these little tabs right here, it will connect right there and right there. And then what I want you to do is imagine his eyes blinking when I pull this forward, because in a show, the eyes would blink red and yellow really fast. It would oscillate. And then what you do at the very end is you take these and you plug them into his back like this. Form kind of Optimus Prime-esque smokestacks. And this is the Megazord all put together. And he really does look quite nice. He's a little bit taller and he has very different proportions from the 2010 version. But as you can see, they do look quite similar. This one is a bit more massive, but one thing that really strikes me about this set is how similar they really are. Like, I knew that they had basically the same transformation, but I was expecting this guy to be quite a bit more heavy and solid than this guy, but no, this guy is basically the same as far as like quality of the parts. The only difference is that this guy uses Zord builder ports, and I kind of hate Zord builder ports, whereas this guy does not. On the other hand, some of his connections, like in the legs down there, aren't as solid as I would like anyway, so it's not like the difference between the Zord builder ports really helps this figure be more solid than this figure, at least by itself. I'm going to review Titanus today, after this guy, and Legacy Titanus, and that's where you'll see that the Zord builder ports really hurt this design here. And I imagine that this guy doesn't quite suffer the same way because he doesn't have the Zord builder ports. But anyway, for accessories, you do get his little Mammoth shield thing, which just fits into his hand like this. And then you get his giant sword of awesome, which sticks into his hand like this. And that's about it for this guy. One thing I do like to do is I do like to put this into the top of his arm right here, and then just kind of leave it in like this. I think that's a more elegant way to store the Mammoth head. It's kind of weird on this one because it can't go all the way in, but then again on the 2010 version, it didn't go all the way in until like a slot into his arm here. And I think that does improve the figure quite a bit, but just to put the Mammoth shield on the arm like that. But anyway, this has been a video review of the original Dino Megazord, and it really is a nice figure, so if you can find it complete, I do recommend it. You might need to do a little bit of maintenance on it, because I kind of want to tighten these up a little bit, see if I can tighten up those joints down there. But anyway, I review Power Rangers, Transformers, Tobots, Digimon, lots of stuff like that. If any of that sounds interesting, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.